Maybe you've had an experience similar to this. You see a photo of a watch. It makes an impression. You read an article about it, then another, then you start looking at more photos, watching videos about it. Maybe you go into a store and try it on once, or twice, or even several times over a few years. And you think about that watch often. Maybe too often. I call this watch stalking. And for 2 years I stalked the Cartier Santos. And now I own it. This is the medium-sized Cartier Santos of the current generation. Its reference number is WSSA0029. In 2018, Cartier revamped the Santos line, and for the first time the Santos caught my attention, and my watch stalking began. After 2 years of hemming and hawing, I decided to just go for it, and I'm very happy I did. This is the second Santos video I've made. In October 2019, I posted this video about the large blue-dialed reference. In that video, I went through the history of the watch, so I'm not going to do all that here. But a quick recap is that the Santos was designed in 1904 and available to the public in 1911. It was the first sports watch, the first pilot watch, and very possibly the first men's wristwatch. It's a pretty interesting history, but really it had no influence on my purchase. I don't really care about legacy or celebrity. I care about design, quality, and how many likes I get on social media. Just kidding. I think. The medium Santos WSSA0029 is 35mm across, 41mm long, and just under 9mm thick. It comes with its bracelet, a leather strap, and a push-button deploying clasp for the strap. The price is $6,500 US, and it comes with an 8-year warranty, which was a nice surprise for me. In over 100 years, the Santos has seen many variations and updates, but it has always stayed very true to its original design. The K-shape and profile, the flat and polished bezel, the bezel screws, these have always remained present through countless designers and even changes in the ownership of Cartier. The 2018 update marked a big departure from the traditional design. I put big in quotes because, come on, to everyone but us, it looked exactly the same as it always has. But for the first time, the iconic Santos bezel went from being a rectangular frame around the dial to extending vertically all the way to the bracelet. The new bezel design adds a lot of elegance to the watch, and for the first time, does a lovely job of mirroring the lug profiles. While I'm very happy with this reference, I'm still torn on which bezel style I prefer. I considered getting an older 32mm Santos Galbé extra large, but this modern Santos has so much more going for it that the Galbé didn't really pose a serious competition. So what does it have going for it? Aside from being a stone-cold fox, the latest Santos has an in-house movement, the best bracelet link system I've ever used, and maybe the best strap chain system I've ever used too. For the first time, the standard Santos now features an in-house movement. The automatic Cartier caliber 1847 MC has appeared inside other watches from the brand, but before 2018, not the Santos. The 1847 isn't all that exciting to me, but it does lend a certain authenticity to the Santos and shows that Cartier is paying attention to the market. And that's not to say that the previous movements in the Santos were bad. On the contrary, the first Santos had a movement that was made exclusively for Cartier by Edmond Jaeger of Jaeger-LeCoultre fame. Let's talk about the bracelet tech. I love it. There are really two parts. First is the adjustment system. Links can be removed or added without any tools, though the Santos does come with a pusher tool. Each removable link has a nearly invisible button on its underside. Pressing the button releases a spring-loaded bar. The bar pulls out only as far as is needed to disconnect the two links, and it can be pushed back into place where it locks in. How great is that? The other major feature of the bracelet is the strap chain system. Both the bracelet and the leather strap are released by a button under the strap and between the lugs. That's it. I believe the system made its debut on the Cartier Roadster some years ago, so I'm glad to see it here. This bracelet would be one of my favorite bracelets on looks alone, even without the tech, but making things more user-friendly goes a long way, though in luxury watches that's a pretty low bar. I had a hard time deciding between this medium and the large size Santos. A lot of people have asked me why I picked the medium and how I came to that decision. It seems that this is a common dilemma for many people. I've had the nearly unique opportunity to wear the large for a few weeks, and since most people don't have that privilege, I'm happy to share my experience and to help you with your choice. I have a wrist diameter of just over 7 inches, about 18 centimeters. I love the look of the large, and I love large watches, maybe you already know that. But during my time wearing the large, I found it getting a bit uncomfortable. The weight of the watch and the fact that the bracelet doesn't have any micro adjustments, I just couldn't always get the right fit. I'm sure this isn't the case for everyone, but that was my experience. And then there's the issue of style, which is even more personal. At 35mm, the medium Santos is actually pretty large in the history of this watch, and I think it's proper for the Santos to be somewhat diminutive. It's more elegant and graceful that way, in my opinion. And remember, square watches wear larger than round watches of the same diameter. For example, here's a 40mm IWC Mark 18 next to the 39mm large Santos. At 35mm, the medium Santos feels just perfect to me. Feels and looks perfect. I've been having a hard time not staring at this watch. I could easily fill up a memory card taking pictures of this thing. As someone who has had a Patek Philippe Nautilus, an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, and a Vacheron Constantin overseas, I absolutely put the Cartier Santos in a class with those watches, and in many ways, I prefer the Santos. I wonder if Cartier had slowly increased the Santos price to $20,000 over the last couple decades, would the Santos be as hot as the Royal Oak or the Overseas? I kinda think it would be. The legacy is there, so is the design and the quality. But thankfully that's not the current state. If you want to buy a Santos, you probably will have to wait, but usually not more than a week or two, though I wouldn't be surprised if that changes soon. I'm so happy that I finally pulled the trigger on the Santos. It fits my wrist, it fits my style, and my collection. There's really nothing quite like the Cartier Santos with its history, its design, brand, and its price. I get why this has been a success for over 100 years, and I wouldn't be surprised if it remained popular for 100 more.